Hey guys, what is up? Andaull here today, bringing you guys another video. So in this video, we are going to be reading 2 Reddit Let's Not Meet stories. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy these stories. If you guys do, be sure to hit that thumbs up down below. Hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on to be notified every time I upload, as well as follow me on Twitter, follow me on Snapchat, follow my Discord, and also now I've got a Reddit page, so go to my Reddit page if you guys want to post your own stories. With that said, I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving today, and be safe. And we're going to go ahead and get into the first story right now. A few years ago, my roommate and I lived on the 3rd floor on the backside of an apartment building. She was in the process of moving out though, so it was mostly just my dog, George Washington, and I. I knew just about every neighbor in my building, and from what I knew, they were super chill. In order to understand this story, I need to explain the way my apartment was set up. In order to get to the door to enter our apartment, you would have to pass by my window, which was a very long window, in my bedroom. I had never had any issues until about 2 o'clock a.m. on a Saturday. Well, technically Sunday. I heard footsteps on the walkway outside my window and saw a shadow pass it. I usually am a groggy person when I first wake up, but ever since it had been just me, I was more aware of my surroundings, so it jolted me awake. I had a nightstick under my bed, so I grabbed it and debated about what to do for the next 30 seconds. I opened up my bedroom door quietly, right in front of our main entrance, and started to notice the handle jiggle ever so slightly. Clearly, at this point, I knew I could either A, shit my pants, B, get attacked, or C, scare the person off. Choice A seemed the most likely for my personality type, but choice C it was. I turned on the outside light, kicked the outside door as loud as I could, and screamed a string of words that would make a sailor blush. I heard footsteps turn and quickly walk the other way. I called my stepdad, who thankfully lived close by. He came by to check on me and wanted to stay with them, but I said I would be fine, and off he went. The next morning, I got up and got ready for church, not really thinking of the night before. I returned home shortly after and was texting on my phone. As I reached to get my keys and put them into the lock on my front door, I couldn't find the keyhole though. So I looked up and noticed that my entire lock had been bashed in. It hadn't really set in what had happened yet. So I opened the door and looked in. A lot of my stuff was gone. Televisions, computers, jewelry, etc. Luckily, they left my doggo there and unharmed. The irony is, I got him to be my best friend and a guard dog. He fulfills one of those roles. I'll let you figure out which. My brain caught up to my surroundings, so I grabbed George and ran outside to call the police. They came out, guns drawn, as they cleared my apartment. It felt surreal to talk with forensics in your own residence. They never found out who did it, and in the end, it worked out okay. A lot of the jewelry they stole was from an ex that I had intentions of pawning anyway, and renter's insurance covered that, so I got some sweet new technology upgrades. However, I still am very unsettled internally about that night and day, particularly about that night. I replay it and often wonder what would have happened had I not woken up, or if the person hadn't been so easily turned away. It also is very unsettling to know that they were watching me, waiting to leave for church so that they could break in. Ever since that day, I keep my head on a swivel and pay extremely close attention to my surroundings, particularly when I get home. So, to the thieving asshole who scared me and stole my stuff, let's not meet. I started college in September 2016 in a new city where I knew nobody. While being nervous, this also gave me the opportunity to start over and meet new people. One of my first social interactions were with the students at my dorm. After a few drinks, I loosened up and had a great time. There was one guy in particular, Gary, with whom I chatted for hours. We added each other on Facebook, and that was it. For the first semester and halfway up the second semester, Gary and I became friends. We often ate together and watched Netflix at each other's dorms weekly. In April 2017, I met the guy who would later be my boyfriend, Steve. From then on, things started to change with Gary, as he talked bad about Steve all the time, saying he was a loser who wouldn't accomplish anything. I saw Gary as a friend, so I didn't want to make an argument out of it, but I was also head over heels with Steve, so I didn't really listen to what Gary had to say. Gary realized things were getting serious with Steve, as Steve was now, in June 2017, my boyfriend. I worked in my university city in July, so I was still around, and so was Gary. He thought that if he couldn't convince me that Steve was a bad guy, he should show what a good guy he was. It started innocently with bringing coffee to me while I was at work. But it escalated, and by the end of the summer, he brought me roses. I'm awful at confrontations and have a hard time saying no. Even though I really shouldn't have accepted the first rose, I know. My second year in college is starting. I still live at the same dorm, and so does Gary. He lives downstairs, and whenever you want to go outside, you have to pass his dorm. His door was always open so he could see when I was passing by. He always called me, and since I cannot say no, I always chatted with him. Our weekly chats became a burden to me since his talks became sadder and sadder, talking about his dead mom. He never mentioned that his mom had passed away before I started dating Steve. But I still don't think he is lying about her. I made the mistake of not advising him to go to a professional for help, but instead believed that I could help him with our chats, which he said helped him. This was also the time, November 2017, where he confessed his feelings for me. I said I have a boyfriend whom I love dearly. He didn't take that answer easily and started getting angry, saying how he could have girls much prettier and taller, my height is above average, than me. Okay, dude, good for you. Since we live in a pretty small dorm where we all know each other, I never lock my door. One evening, I came back from class and noticed my door was closed. I usually just leave it slightly open. When I entered my dorm, everything was cleaned up. And lo and behold, there was a rose on my bed. I was in shock and literally couldn't do anything but stand there for 5 minutes. I finally found the courage to confront him about it, and he just laughed it away, saying it had to be cleaned up and how he did me a favor. I got furious and yelled that he cannot enter my room anymore. You think it would stop there, right? I wish. From March 2017 on, I started studying at our facility's library. Since I didn't want to encounter him anymore at our dorm, he picked this up and started studying there as well. Even though he is from another faculty, whenever I would leave for the toilet or a break, I would come back to a sticker on my laptop or pencil case, whatever I had with me, with hearts drawn on them. One time I had my makeup bag with me. When I came back from my break, it had a sticker on it with "You don't need this, beautiful" written on it. It freaked me out, and when I asked him about it, he denied it. Even though I am 100% sure it was him, I started seeing him everywhere I went. The library, down the street, when I went out, there was not a day where I didn't bump into him. One day as I went home over the weekend, I got out of the train in my hometown and saw him standing right at the exit of the train. His expression when he tried to fake surprise was terrifying. He doesn't live there, he lives on the other side of the country. What was he doing here? I quickly said hi and walked to a friend's place in case he would follow me. This was the situation for about a year. He kept seeing and initiating contact with me, give a rose every now and then, telling me how much better girls he could get, but not really crossing any more lines. Later it came to my knowledge that it wouldn't matter if he had followed me to my house that day. I used Snapchat a lot. My GPS function was activated, so whenever I opened Snapchat, he would get an update of where I was at that moment. Because I also use Snapchat at home, he probably knows where I live. I immediately deactivated that function. Gary and I didn't have much contact anymore after I did, since now he couldn't bump into me anymore. Whenever we did meet each other, he would start talking about his mom, and I felt terrible for saying I had to leave every time since he kept on talking. He knew this was my weak spot. I was tired of the whole situation and decided to move to another dorm. From September 2018, things started going bad with Steve, and Gary noticed. I told him we were having a break to find out if we still love each other. Not a bright idea, I know. His reaction at that moment was not really a big thing. If anything, it looked like he didn't care. Great, right? One evening, I was going out with some friends and we bumped into Gary with his friends. I was dancing the night away with my friends while I saw him from the corner of my eyes looking at me while sipping his beer. Freaky, but I had drunk too many drinks to care at this point. We decided to go home, but my friends all lived on the other side of the city. This is where Gary saw his chance. He offered to bring me to my dorm, cheered on by my friends who didn't know the situation. But also, because I was drunk, I accepted his offer. We were a couple houses away from my dorm. When I reached for my keys, I couldn't find them. "Oh, are you looking for your keys?" said Gary while reaching in his pocket and taking out my keys. "They fell out, so I took them." Now I stated I'm a messy person and often lose my stuff, but my keys were in my pocket, which was closed with a zipper. I didn't touch my jacket all evening, so unless it magically opened, my keys did not fall out. He had taken them out. We were at my dorm at this point, and I angrily reached for my keys, about to shut the door right before him. While I leaned in to reach for my keys, he took my face with his other hand and kissed me. I immediately pushed him away and asked what the hell was wrong with him. He shrugged his shoulders and said, "Yeah, well, I had to try it." I was grossed out, shut the door, ran upstairs, and just kept washing my face. After that encounter, I didn't hear much of him anymore since I blocked him on all social media. For some reason, but this is probably my paranoid mind, he seems to be around whenever I'm in a sad mood. A month ago, Steve and I ended our relationship. The next day, I saw him at the library. 2 weeks later, I saw Steve kissing another girl, which tore me up inside for a couple of days. The day after, he visited the place where I work at. I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but hey, Gary, let's not meet.